Recent years, I'd like you to welcome Angela Conway, please.
Thank you very much to the fellowship and to everyone coming here tonight and to our fellow debaters here. It is a very heated topic. Thank you for not smoking. Who's seen that film? A terribly mischievous, terribly handsome, dashing, audacious and wicked character who plays smoke and mirrors tricks with the research evidence about tobacco on behalf of Big Tobacco. This is what I think we need to be aware of in this debate too. There's a lot of smoke and mirror tricks going on in this debate as well. Research evidence in the harder and the softer sciences, as well as anecdotal evidence and experience from health workers, gives us enough indication that kids are likely to be harmed significantly by exposure to adult and illegal content online. And I'd like to clarify here, I think there's, again, this smoke and mirrors problem is just happening all over the place. Obviously classification law in this country is a complex thing. The issue of the internet filter is a complex topic. I just want to clear up a few things. I think we made it clear earlier here today, Jim, this evening Jim made it clear that we weren't really wanting to make the focus of our discussion here tonight child porn. We accept that our opponents recognise that child porn is something that none of us wants on the internet. We think it's great that the Eros industry members and others are trying to actually do something in that direction to address those dangers. We are not accusing these people here tonight of being in favour of child porn because they're not in favour of an internet filter. We realise that the debate is more complex than that, and I think what we're saying here essentially is it's a question of values and a question of priorities at the end of the day. So as I said, there is evidence, I think there is good evidence, that there is risks to children at the present time. Geordie here's indicated that there is no evidence that we have any sort of thing to worry about. There's no real threat out there. I think that actually there is evidence, and I noticed too Geordie talked about proof and so on, and I'd probably like to touch on that a little bit later. But he sort of raised this furphy again. It's more smoke and mirrors. This idea that there is no proof here. There is no proof that one thing is causing another. There is no proof that there's a problem. There's no proof that there's a harm. Ultimately, even in the hard sciences, we don't actually end up with any proof of anything. We get correlations and associations, and as intelligent human beings, we make decisions about those findings. That's what we do. We never have a proof about anything. It just doesn't happen, even in physics. It certainly doesn't happen in medical sciences, it doesn't happen in the social sciences, in the psychological sciences, anywhere. We get correlations and associations if we do good research, and then as ethical, intelligent human beings, we make decisions based on that information. We make some inferences about possible causation, and we make decisions. We write policy, and we implement change. I'd like to share with you some more stories, just briefly, and I know that we've heard some tonight. We've heard a story about Sam. These stories are coming out of the suburbs where families perhaps are a little bit more chaotic, where there's more pressure and time, where people are stressed. There might be a little bit more substance abuse in many of these communities, or maybe not. Maybe they're just an average middle-class family just struggling to keep it all together. But in every part of this country, there are health workers, psychologists, doctors, child protection people dealing with small children who have been involved in the perpetration of sexual acts on other children all over the country. Boys have been found to have bailed up little girls in childcare or primary school, exposing their genitals, groping and poking girls' vaginas, demanding and sometimes being given oral sex. Social workers have reported finding pornographic DVDs lying on the floor amongst children's titles like The Wiggles. on the lounge room floor when they go into some homes. That's the reality out there in the suburbs. That's what's happening. You know, there is actually a big debate on the impacts of sexualisation on kids and the way it stunts their development. Stunts their development and stunts their capacity to flourish and develop in a holistic way across, you know, cognitive, emotional, intellectual, sexual domains of their lives. I want to make it clear that, you know, I'm very concerned that we don't jeopardise our political liberties in this country. You know, I'm history trained. You know, I understand when things can go wrong. Of course, we don't want to have any threats to our political freedoms, our rights to free speech politically, rights to life. We don't want those things to happen. You know, to suggest that we don't care about that sort of thing, well, I mean, there's been no evidence. None of us has ever said anything that would give evidence to suggest that we don't care about our civil liberties and our political freedoms. So, you know, that is a real issue. We need to address it. I don't understand why the people of Electronic Frontiers don't get on board and say, well, how can we make this work? This is a serious problem. Let's see what the technology can do. Let's see if we can make something work without causing a major problem. It's a clumsy instrument, ISP filtering, but hopefully technology is going to sharpen it down the track. The blacklist is a bit clumsy, but I'm telling you today, the blacklist is not concerned with adults just having sex. It is concerned with the extreme sites I've been talking about. And I've been involved recently in getting 2 extreme sites onto that blacklist, including passed out pussies. That's what that site is concerned about. It's concerned about child porn and these extreme sites that are really quite horrific. It's not about sequestering away, you know, two people having sex, you know, in a house in a non-violent, non-coercive way. I fear that our opponents live in an all-or-nothing black and white world. You know, the filtering system, the strategy's got to be perfect. It's got to be 100% perfect, or we're not having it. You've got to prove 100% that this is a problem, or we're not interested. Black and white, all or nothing. That's the language and the rhetoric we get. That's smoke and mirrors stuff. That's diverting us from the real hard work of sorting out policies to deal with this problem. You know, we're talking about, do we prioritise the freedoms? You know, these people rant about freedoms to send all kinds of porn and extreme material into our homes. Freedom to get aroused to depictions of violent rape, and often of young-looking teenage girls dressed in school uniforms. You know, this is the kind of freedom they're talking about. Don't censor the web. Don't censor the web. Louise Adler said, let 1,000 flowers bloom. Gets online and looks at some of this stuff and gets aroused.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I need to present my apologies. I have to go back into the Parliament now, so I apologise. I'm not running off because I'm afraid of the argument here. I'm sure we could win it. I'm sure that the others will do it. So my apologies for needing to go.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Two speakers having a balanced ledger.
What John Kaye wanted, so that's why I'm fitting in with it.
Yes, and
that's the only reason I'm doing it.
I actually have very little to say, and I'm very sad that we ran out of time for John to speak, because I think he would have provided some very good insights. I just want to probably just say a couple of things about the adult industry does not want children on their websites. They do not contribute anything to the adult website community. Money, content, anything. We do not want children. Most of the people in the adult industry are parents. They don't want children on their sites. They don't want children looking at adult material. It's adult material.